What if I told you that your thoughts and emotions are not simply subjective experiences, but rather the building blocks of the world that surrounds and protects you? Your consciousness exerts a tremendous influence that shapes the very essence of the world we perceive, and that is fantastic. Every thought you think, every intention you set, every emotion you feel ripples out into the world and influences the collective consciousness. The universe is not a collection of lifeless matter and energy, but a living, breathing entity that responds to the deepest movements of our minds. It is a world where the secrets of creation lie not in the physical realm, but in the infinite expansion of human consciousness and necessarily in the spiritual world. In this universe, everything is connected. Every thought, every feeling, every intention. The universe is much more than just a realm of space and time. It is a vast realm of unlimited potential, ready to be influenced and transformed by the power of our thoughts and actions. From the smallest subatomic particles to the largest cosmic phenomena, everything is in a state of constant flux, reacting to the most subtle changes in our mental and emotional states. This is the world of the mental universe, a world in which the mind is not just an observer, but an active participant in the unfolding experience of creation. It is a world where the mysteries of existence must not be solved only by science and logic, but by a deep understanding of the functioning of the human mind and consciousness. This point is fundamental. This idea has its roots in ancient philosophies and spiritual traditions that recognize the interconnectedness of all things. Do not neglect anything, and above all, do not minimize anything. Hermetic philosophy teaches that the universe is mental in nature. In other words, the entire cosmos is a product of the divine mind, which is the source of all creation. This means that everything we see and experience in the world is a product of our collective consciousness. The universe is not something separate from us, but rather a reflection of our own minds. So what does it mean to say that everything is spirit and the universe is mental? This means that we are all part of one infinite, all-encompassing consciousness. When we talk about the mind, we are not referring to the rational, analytical part of our brain, but to the vast plane of consciousness, a higher level of consciousness that transcends individual thought and extends to the entirety of the mind. Existence. The mind is much larger than we could imagine. This consciousness represents the whole and all-encompassing creative force that some may call God, the universe, or creative consciousness. Every thought, every emotion, every sensation, every experience is ultimately a manifestation of this universal mind. And when we say that the universe is mental, we recognize that the cosmos itself is the product of this creative consciousness. All creation, from the smallest grain of sand to the most distant galaxy, is the result of the cosmic imagination, of the divine will that gives birth to all things. This power, known as imagination, is the key to unlocking our true potential and manifesting our deepest desires. As the great author and teacher Neville Goddard once said, imagination is the power with which you create reality. God is imagination. Imagination is the power with which we create our reality. Our thoughts and our imagination are two sides of the same coin of creation. According to Goddard, everything we experience in the world is a manifestation of our own thoughts and beliefs. Therefore, if we want to be able to create our own reality, we must first change our thoughts. However, this influence should not be underestimated. This is not the mere result of hopeful aspirations or optimistic statements. It is a profound and transformative force, capable of shaping the fundamental structure of existence itself. This means that we have the power to shape our destiny through the power of our imagination, and it means that we must approach this power with respect, humility, and a deep understanding of the principles that govern its operation. This stream creates a kind of collective hallucination in which we perceive the world in a certain way and are often unaware of the limitations and prejudices that this perception creates. The reality we experience is not an objective external entity, but a product of our collective consciousness. The universe is not just a physical entity, but also a mental entity, shaped and created by our thoughts and perceptions. The impact of thoughts lies in the energy we invest in them. As we delve into specific thoughts, the emotions they evoke become tangible and come to fruition. This emotional shift therefore takes us into a distinct emotional realm, shaping our subsequent actions. For example, constantly indulging in the notion of personal failure and devoting excessive attention to it leads to a cascade of negative feelings, a cascade of failures in our active life. On the other hand, when we focus on stimulating thoughts, they serve to strengthen our self-confidence. This confidence boost then gives rise to positive emotional behavior, which is reflected in our physical attitude. Standing, breathing positivity, radiant and divine energy become obvious manifestations of this elevated emotional state. Transform frustration into pleasure, impatience into patience, animosity into affection, conflict into serenity, sorrow into joy, and the positive results will only be evident when we get caught in spirals of negativity. We must mindfully observe and recognize their implausibility or falsehood. Using the principle of polarity, we can focus on the opposite pole of negative thinking to destroy an undesirable rate of mental vibration. Implement the principle of polarity and concentrate on the pole opposite to the one you wish to eliminate. Kill the undesirable by changing its polarity. Through such mental transmutation, we possess the ability to reverse or expel these negative thoughts. Alternatively, we can supplant them by directing our attention to different external thoughts or activities, such as immersing ourselves in nature or engaging in task completion. The philosophy of Hermeticism explores various facets of mental transmutation. This concept embodies the idea of reshaping our thoughts to purify, elevate, and ultimately improve both our mental state and our life trajectory. Called mental transmutation or sometimes mental alchemy, this practice uses our cognitive potential to transform ourselves and our circumstances, changing their shape, appearance, or nature, frequently guiding them toward a higher state. So don't hesitate to turn your frustrations, your despairs, and ultimately your failures into something positive. Always be positive, and the victories will now become your daily life.